Hello, welcome Ashane Rose to
Thank you for
Senses
having me.
Life Factors. I am so grateful that you're taking the time out to share with us today. So we want you to, tell us where you're ailing from.
Mhm. All right. Thank you very much for having me. Thanks for inviting me to be a part of this. My name is Ashane Rose, as stated before. I'm located in Trelawney, originally from St. James, but now living in Trelawney. So my heart is in both places. A little bit about me. I have been in hospitality for over a decade. So customer service is something that is important to me. And it stems into me, you know, loving and appreciating people. I care deeply for people. And being around me or just whether or not it is a direct interaction, after being around me, seeing me, you're going to leave feeling better. That is something that I take pride in. You should
Mhm.
always leave my presence feeling better about yourself, or thinking that you're unstoppable, or anything that is positive. I just live, think, breathe, eat positivity. That's
Great,
what,
great.
yeah.
And we need all of that. I mean, in this world right now, the energy that gives off from people or just walking into an environment tends to be so toxic, right?
Yes.
So we need all
I,
the positivity that we can get. So you said you moved from St. James to Trelawney. So you're still on the kind of outer edge of the Partial
well,
Way.
I'm pretty close. I'm like 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes away from where I'm from. So I'm
Okay,
close to the border of Trelawney, close to the border of St. James. I'm not far off.
not far off. All right. And so, but this is not has to do with economic factors, or is it
Oh
working?
no, it's just that my dad lives here.
Mhm.
And when I was around 10 or so, I moved to live with him, and I've been here ever since. But my entire family from my mother's side is in St. James. So grandma, uncles, aunts, cousins, mom, everybody, that's where they are. I'm the only one that's here, but
Okay.
I'm still close by. Yeah.
But with
Mhm.
15 minutes apart, I mean, it's like they're next door in a sense, right?
Yeah, not bad.
Okay. So, our highest catch here inspirational content on Instagram, and I believe you're probably on other platforms. Share your background in terms of how you started out with the believe in what you believe, and you're going to tell us, some of your philosophies or your life inspirations. So, start with your background in terms of schooling, and you said customer service. You're more
Yes.
into customer service, thus your connection with people. Share about that.
So I started out, basic school, New Vision Kindergarten. I have to shout out to Miss England, because if you go to that institution and you leave without knowing how to read and properly articulating yourself, I just feel like it's not her, because she's really good. And after that, she had recommended me to teamwork prep. And I think that pretty much shaped me a lot into going into high school. And I went to the infamous William Nib.
Oh,
And through there, I was very lucky to get an opportunity with Saint International, and then I started modeling internationally. And that is another experience that taught me how to appreciate people, because now I've seen how the British work, the French, the Spanish, different cultures, and it
mhm.
opened my eyes to something new. And then coming back home, I feel like dealing with my fellow Jamaicans, I realized the saying that ignorance is bliss is true. There are a lot of us that don't know that the world is bigger than us. And I got the opportunity to see that. So it changed how I dealt with people around me. And then
Mhm.
after that, I went into hospitality. And I feel being in modeling and seeing how they are outside of Jamaica, and then welcoming them into Jamaica, it made it easier for me to do my job. And I realized that that's my passion. I love people. I love helping people. I like providing assistance. And after that, when you come to me and I fix your problem and you're happy, it brings me joy. And then after that, in 2017, I started a little broadcast list on my WhatsApp where I send out morning motivation messages. And I broke my phone in 2018, and I stopped. And somebody's like, "What's going on? Why did you stop?" I said, "Because I broke my phone." She's like, "No, you should continue. We look forward to it." So
Good.
I started doing it again, and I started adding more people, and then they were making their list on their phone and forwarding the messages. And it got to a point, if I missed a day, people would call my phone, "Are you okay?" And I realized that it's really touching. There are some people who are like, okay, take me from this list. I don't care much for it. But the majority look forward to it. So I had to be consistent. And I feel like it taught me discipline because sometimes I slack off. But knowing that people are relying on me to provide them with the motivation in the morning, I continued. And then in 2021, I made a video, just a little 1 minute video, and I shared it to the contact list, just saying, "Hey, have a good day." And then the following day, somebody was like, "Where's today's video?" And I was like, "It was just a one-time thing." They're like, "No, we
Oh.
like it." So I did that for a couple months straight in 2021, but it was more like me on my way to work or coming from work. I'll do it quickly. I traveled to visit my brother, and I had stopped because I didn't have the space or the time to sit and do it. And I felt like I lost the momentum, so I didn't do it anymore. And for a while, I just continued with the text through WhatsApp, but I didn't do the videos. But I started earlier this year just to share little insights, whether it has to be like you as a person or your love life, your relationships, any little thing. I'll just voice my opinion and put it out there. But I never thought that it would come to this, where my page would be, getting a lot of followers based on the content. Because as we said earlier, a lot of toxic energy is here.
Yes.
And when you look on social media and the things that people are gravitating to, it's
Yeah.
not the positive content. It's a gossip or the aggression or stuff like that. So me posting the videos weren't necessarily me trying to like gain followers from it. Sometimes I have thoughts in my head and I was like, let me just put this out there. And I did that. But it makes me feel very good to know that there are
Yes.
people who genuinely appreciate it. I was sick a couple weeks ago and a couple people reached out to me saying, "Hey, what's going on? We don't see no video, okay?"
All right.
And
So
I feel good.
so let's you said you shared a lot. So let's go back to something that you said. You mentioned William Nib,
Yes.
your school that is such an exemplary school in that's St. James or
No, it's Central on. It's like 5 minutes from me right now.
okay. And I'm trying to describe their uniform because people are always interested in school uniform in Jamaica. Describe the uniqueness of William Nib uniform. Do they
It's a
color?
just regular white top with a tunic. It's greenish bluish. It's like a turquoise.
Okay.
It's more. I feel like nowadays the color has changed because when I was younger, it was more green. I know it's more blue.
Maybe, maybe they can't find the color.
I'm going to find. I think I can find a picture of
Okay.
myself.
And so right after William Nib, you mentioned that you joined an agency. What was the name of the agency?
Saint International. I'm so sorry. My daughter is just walking up.
Did you say
Say
Saint
hello.
International?
Saint International. Yes.
And
Come, buddy.
could you spell that? For some reason,
SAINT with Dwight Peters.
it, and this is Jamaican.
Yes.
Okay,
And
and they are a modeling agency.
yes, one of the number one modeling agency in the Caribbean.
Okay.
He would represent us as the model agent here, and then
Mhm.
we would get signed to agencies in either New York, London, Milan, or Paris, or outside of the major fashion areas. Some people get signed in Africa, depending on the direction where the career is going.
And you were what, around 18, 19 at the time?
15, 16. I was very
Oh,
young.
wow.
Yes.
While
Yeah.
you were still in school.
While I was still in school, yes. It
Okay.
was a very good experience, trust me.
Were you traveling during those times as well?
Hmm. I
And
would travel in August and be back by October, or I'll travel in January, be back by March. But my
so,
school, my school, Mr. Thompson was very supportive. He was like, "Go." So
so you were
they
able to
didn't give me
still
a hard time.
keep up with the curriculum and get
Yes.
your things done. Okay. All right. And you said you learned a lot in the traveling in terms of it all, just the cultural immersion in a way, open up your eyes
Yes.
to so many life lessons, life factors. And you mentioned several countries that you visited, England, Spain, France.
France, US, I've done oh, come again. Sorry. United States, I did South America. I did Germany, I did Spain, I did London, I did France.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a couple. It's been a long time.
What
It's
were
been a
some
while.
of the was it just runway or just specific products that you were?
I did a little bit of everything. I did mostly runway. I did editorials. I was in Italian L.
Mhm.
I did a couple campaigns. I was the face of Zara
What is
for
our?
Zara is a department store, kind of like H&M.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so Zara. So
It's a
I did
brand.
a couple stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't stay long in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more like a tomboy. I'm not the fabulous pretty girl that's going. I didn't. The
That's
lifestyle was not.
okay. That's okay. I mean, it's an experience, and they chose you
I'm
clearly for a
grateful.
lot of reasons, and you did it. But lessons learned. What are some of the lessons learned in the different places and the interaction from the interactions?
The first thing was self confidence. I am not your. I'm not what the typical Jamaican would go for. I'm skinny. I'm dark.
Mm-hmm.
I am not, shapy. So I grew up being teased all the time about how I look. And then going into the world and seeing that other cultures appreciate how I look, it taught me how to love myself. And don't get me wrong, my mommy thinks I'm the best thing since sliced bread. She speaks
Great.
life into me.
Of
That's
course.
your mom. So she's supposed to. So to hear somebody else that does not know anything about your culture, doesn't know anything about you, and they appreciate you for
Mhm.
you, kind of changed my perspective. And in learning how to love me unconditionally, I learned how to extend that love to everybody, regardless of your race or your religion or whatever you believe in. I
Mhm.
learned how to just express that.
While you were abroad, did you have like chaperones or you were on your own?
I was on my own.
At
I was
16, 17?
yes,
Did
surprisingly.
they put you up in hotels and kind
Yes,
of get you
we had
situated?
our agencies took very good care of us. We have to give them that. They
Good.
ensured that
Good.
we had drivers to pick us up from point A to point B. They'd give us our
Mhm.
allowance. We'd get like a map. They wouldn't just send us out there like that. They would, teach us the way of if we're in New York, they'll show us where to go. They don't just send you to the subway. They show it is. They mark the areas which is your stop where you need to go. Sometimes if we have a couple castings throughout the day, they'll print out an itinerary for you to show you where to go and whatnot. It was not, as difficult as some people thought it was. And yes, you're young and you're being thrown out, but I feel like that helps to build character. It
Yes.
teaches you how to get it together, to be self-reliant at a very early age. So I am I will never not speak bad about anything in that experience. It has shaped me a lot,
Mhm.
and I'm grateful for it.
Great. That's actually very interesting. And so I'm thinking that during this time I'm for, of course, cell phone and communicating back and forth with on WhatsApp was probably your best go-to.
We at the time WhatsApp wasn't as popular. We had BBMs,
Okay.
BlackBerry,
BlackBerry,
BBM, yes.
okay.
And then not everybody had a BlackBerry, so you would have to have that one friend that had your pin, and we'd wait until a certain time for them to come and we could talk. But it wasn't as easy as now, as you could just send a message to anybody. But I
Okay.
still managed to keep in touch with my mom. I'd buy minutes because I'm going to have to talk to her and my sister and my brother all the time. But
Mhm.
it, I feel like being out there away from them is something that I needed at that time. It taught me how to.
Very, very interesting. All right. So you are there. What is who is the most interesting person you've met on on this journey during that journey?
Hmm, I have met a lot, and funny enough, I'd say Vivian Westwood. Um, she's a designer.
Hmm.
She's one of the biggest designers outside of London and Paris. But it's just how she went about just being her. Her designs were not the typical, what you'd see. She was very creative. She was very caring. I remember going to the casting, and a girl told me that if I did the show in London, it is pointless to go do the casting in Paris because she never uses the same girl twice. And I went to the casting, and she was very excited to see me, and it puzzled everybody. as to why I was doing both shows, because she never really do that. But she was so nice to me. She cared about the earth. She had like a little, what we call it, Stanley now, like an insulated cup, a green cup.
Mm-hmm.
All her shows, she was big on going green and saving the planet and stuff like that. And all her designs
Okay.
were really, really good. So I like, she was very nice, nicer than I expected.
Okay. Okay. And in terms of your peers, around the same age group, I'm thinking, or even, probably a few years older, what were some of the lessons learned there
As it relates to modeling with me or persons outside of the industry.
within the same modeling
Oh,
industry?
um, a lot of people lack self control. A lot of yeah, I saw a lot of that, and I there's a lot of people out there who will learn from example. I like to learn from people's example. So I see a lot of errors being made. I tried to talk people out of doing certain things, but what I saw was persons being very happy about the freedom that they got, and then they abuse it. And I don't know where a lot of them are right now, but I did see a lot of stuff that personally I wish did not happen to some. But those are personal choices. It wasn't really the industry that, did anything to them per se. It
Hmm.
was a lot of persons weren't really focused on a goal. They weren't focused on what they wanted. And you do have to allow people to make their own experiences, make their own mistakes, and learn by themselves. So it was pretty much trial and error for a lot of us. And thankfully, my mommy was already in the industry as a young lady, so she kind of gave me a heads up as to what to expect. So I stayed in my lane and I mind the business that pays me. So a lot of, like I wasn't one who experienced a lot of bad stuff. It was a very good experience for me.
That's wonderful to say, and I appreciate that because at times, especially moving in those spaces at such a young age, it can really it can change your experience, but for the worst, and
True.
and leave lasting impact, where you're traumatized and like, talking about it and then you start crying or
Crime.
in such a way. So I appreciate that. And you may be wondering, why am I staying on that topic? It's because it's very interesting. It is very interesting, and you may not realize how important your backstory is to celebrate it. Because guess what? We work with a lot of youth, and of course, I'm going to ask you if there's a young person, that is watching this video, and they see and said, "Wow, that's interesting." At 15, at 16, you're taking a train in New York? What? That's crazy. Taking a train in London, talking to these top-notch people and being competitive, those type of things. How can you make that dream seems attainable for a young Jamaican girl at William Nib at, one of those high schools in Jamaica? What would you say to them? How would they go about it?
All right. First, I still am in contact with Mr. Peters. So if I find somebody that I think is, perfect, I usually reach out to him and I send pictures and stuff like that. And before they go, I always remind them that what you want is in here. The only person that can stop you from achieving what you want to achieve is you. It's just the mindset. I tell them that it's not a get rich quick industry. You can work a year and not earn a dollar, and you can work one day and earn enough to not work another 5 years. It
Wow.
requires a lot of patience. It requires hard work. It's not just what you see fabulous pictures on the in the magazine or on the billboard. It's work.
Mhm.
And I feel like there's a lot of stereotype as it relates to models. Really think that models are stupid, or models just don't eat, or they smoke to cut the apple. There's a whole lot of stereotypes as it relates to what we
Mhm.
actually do or who we are as models. But I tell everybody, go in with a clean heart and a clean mind. Go in wanting to have your own experience. Don't listen to what anybody says. What
Mhm.
happened for me might not happen for you. It can be worse for me, worse for you, or better than what I had. So I always tell him, go in prepared to witness everything and anything, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but stay firm. Stay mentally firm and
Mhm.
emotionally firm. You're in a new environment, you're in a new country, you are around people that is culturally different from you. what you know is completely, just leave it at home and open your mind to learning something new. That is the best way to take it on. Don't go thinking that you know it all and you have it all figured out.
Mhm.
Go willing to learn, and I think you'll be unstoppable.
What about the support system? Because you just shout out to your mom, you shout out to your dad. I mean, so many people that you said family, 15 minutes away from you, in terms of where you live. But how important is the support system?
At the time, I did not even know what a support system was. I was just going about my business. But, getting older and looking back, my mother is always there. She's on the trips to me with me in Kingston. She's pushing me. She's there. My sister, my brothers, everybody was my school,
Mhm.
my teachers. They were pushing me. Everybody had high expectations. At some point, I didn't like that because I feel like if you have too many expectations of me, you're putting too much pressure on me. And I didn't like that at the time. But it's good to see that people see potential in you and they want you to live up to that. So I had everybody from people in Falmouth, people in Lilliput where I'm from, people at my school, my family, everybody was supportive.
Mhm.
I didn't if there was somebody that was not rooting for me, I'm not aware of that.
How much self-awareness is important before I venture into something into the area of modeling, the way that you do this, especially at
I
15?
don't I don't
At 15.
at 15. See, the thing is now, at 15, I I have a mother who hides nothing from you. She is very open. She will tell you everything. She will tell you how the birds and the bees work, but not in the birds and the bees term. So she will teach you. She taught me about people coming up to me for me drugs. She told me everything,
Good.
and because of where I grew up, I really like a ghetto, but I've seen things. I grew up exposed to a lot of things, so I went out there fully aware of what danger is
Mhm.
and how it can affect me and by extension my family. So I had to be very careful in the choices that I made. And I feel like that is what, helped to guide me. It's
Mhm.
just knowing that this can happen. So be very careful. Watch your surroundings, watch everybody that you interact with. Just be vigilant and watch yourself.
Okay. Wonderful. Those are good advice. So let's talk about two incidents that occurred since year. It's not so much modeling, but it's it is in the arena of, beauty and fashion. Um, and you can tell me if you don't want to talk about it. Miss Jamaica Universe, who I believe her name was Tyra Spalding.
The lady that fell.
The one before that, she took her life,
Oh yes,
right? Is
I saw that. No.
Are you comfortable talking a bit about
Yes.
not so much anything personally related to her, but just in general about the 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 superficial behavior around this type of arena, modeling, beauty
Mhm.
contest. And remember, going back to the question about support and self-awareness. Do you have any take on what we may have missed if we're looking at someone? Say, for example, if I was looking at you at 16, I could have looked, looking at your portfolio and you're describing what was happening to you, then we can't see it because it's masked behind the beauty, for example. What are we missing when people are actually out there saying, I need help, but nobody's hearing them? Do you remember the video on that?
I remember the video. I watched it once. I didn't watch it a second time. No, mental health, 1 second,
Hmm.
is something that is important, like very, very important to me. I've been wanting to start a podcast um called I'm gonna show you. I was gonna deviate brief so you can see.
Hmm.
Load, it's not loading. So this is the logo. I'll send it to you of it in a minute.
Oh,
So
we're on the same
I've been
page now.
yeah, I've been wanting to start it since 2021. I've
Mhm,
procrastinated a lot, but I'm ready to start it now.
mhm,
I feel like mental health is not something that is taken like seriously in Jamaica. As a culture, we have this I just say what you have to just do what you have to do, move on type
mhm.
of mentality.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could be dying in front of your friends or your family, and they look at you like, you're not that serious. I have to just go and hold it faith. And
yeah.
I don't like it. And it happened to me when after I had my son and I was going through postpartum and I said, yo, this really hurts. And the response I got was, I just saw life going on, you have to do what you have to do. And I'm like, that's not what I want to hear. I want a hug. I want I want you to tell me it's going to be okay. And I quickly snapped out of it and I pretended to be okay for the longest while until I actually was. And that is what triggered it for me to want to ensure that I tell everybody that it's more than just you feel some type of way. Talk to me, unload on me. I will listen. I can't say we miss anything because I have gotten so good at hiding how I feel a lot of times where people around me don't even know that I'm depressed.
Mhm,
So I can't say it is us missing. I feel like it's us not making others feel more comfortable to express that they're going through things.
mhm.
Our culture does not allow that, especially in men.
Oh, yeah.
If you're a man, you have to hold it like a G.
Mhm,
And the thing is that we only associate trauma with death. So the only time people expect you to cry and be sad is when somebody dies.
mhm,
But losing a friend is traumatic. Ending a relationship is traumatic. Um, Watching your child going through something that is life threatening is traumatic. There's so many experiences that people have on a daily that we just overlook to think that,
betrayal by
oh,
family members.
yes, it's
Dramatic.
betrayal. Oh my God, that is even the worst. Naka. You least there's
Worst
other people
one.
you least expect. So it is a lot of horrible experiences that we're going through, and the lack of what do I put it now medium where we can express
Intervention.
ourselves.
Intervention, resources.
Yes, and the lack of knowledge on the topic because a lot of people don't even know that your mental health ties in with your physical health and your emotional health. When one is off, everything derail. If
Mm.
mentally you're not okay, you're going to start being physically ill.
Mhm, mhm,
And if physically you're ill, emotionally you're going to be sad. And it's a cycle. You
mhm,
cannot have one deteriorating and the other two. It's not going to work. And if you have like a lot of people don't even want to have the conversation. They're so used to I just say going to have to move on. So I feel like as soon as we get out of that type of thinking, that mindset where it is what it is, then we can start really addressing the issue and finding ways how to attack it, or I wouldn't say attack it, but deal with it and let people be more comfortable with talking about what is going on with them. Because not because something is not important to you means that it's not important to somebody else. What
mhm.
I can take on might be less than or more than what you take on. It doesn't mean that either stress is not as important as the other. It's just mentally I can deal with losing a parent because I've lost a parent already and I know how to go through it. But so for somebody who's never lost a parent, when it happens to them, it's going to hit them twice as much. So for
Mhm.
me to come and say, oh, my father did dead, I'm never take it, so just no matter with all of that. You're being insensitive. You don't know the relationship with the parent, you don't know the bond, you don't know anything. So you have to be supportive. And we're not supportive. And I don't
So,
think that we're not supportive because we don't want to be. We just don't understand how to be.
right. And that's where my next question starts. Where should we start learning this? Because yes, you, Ashane, have developed your level of self-awareness. You have been on the global stage and you learn to stay centered. And this could be based, as you said, your mom and whatever family values she instilled in you. And then the teachers at William Nib and, and you have to give shout out to the school because a lot of times we keep hearing about the negative things coming out of some of the schools. So the fact that you're shouting out to them, it's a plus. But where do we start? Where do we, I mean, we need education around this. This thing where, so life go and where you ball for. and those kind of things without understanding that there's a process. We have to go through a process in order to feel complete. You can't just jump over. This is not what they call just jump over the moon, that kind of thing.
That's true.
You have to learn how to jump first. And so if we're not being taught how to deal with our emotions as it relates to some of the things that you said, like death, breakup, pregnancy, after birth, those type of things, it bottles in. Nobody heard her. It doesn't seem, and I know it's not fair because for some reason, we're not getting the backstory about family members who may have reached out to support her. We're not
Mhm.
sure if you're hearing much of that. But there should have been some intervention when she put those videos out. Where should we start, Ashane?
I'm starting from in my home. My son's very expressive.
Mm-hmm.
I allow him to tell me how he feels. Like if he's sad, he's going to say, I'm sad, I'm angry, whatever it is, he's going to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm able to do that because I've already gone through the process of learning about, becoming emotionally intelligent. Not everybody's in the same environment. So I feel like high school, we
Mm-hmm.
should find a way to put it in the curriculum, learning about mental
Yes.
health and emotional intelligence. I know the guidance counselors are there, but from what I remember going to guidance counseling class in school, it was more about, career choice and where to go and stuff like that. I
Right.
feel like we need to now implement the importance of mental health. I feel that is what guidance counseling should be about.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of teenagers are in school. Some are being abused at home. Some are being molested. Some are basically the adults at home, and they come to school and they have to pretend to be okay. And it starts from there
Mm-hmm.
upon to adulthood. And then because they're not able to regulate their emotions, they birth children and then the cycle continues. So I feel like it has to start for parents like me who are able to do so, start within the home and then implement it in the school. So for those who already have it in the home, they're just reinforcing it in school. And then
Yes.
for those who don't have it in the home, they'll learn while at school.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's where we're supposed to, because I spend most of the time in school.
Do the government need, though, to kind of create some kind of budget, monetary support around that so that it's not overburdening the teachers per se? I know you said it should be built somewhere in the curriculum. And if they can't find space for it, do it, where it's in an after school program. Or how about community settings? Because
Everywhere. There
homes
should
should
not be any
be
limit.
city. And why isn't that a big deal? Why aren't we spending more time trying to in kind of create these kind of resources and support systems in our
Because
community?
there's a saying, if something ain't broke, don't fix it.
It
And
is
everybody,
broken.
no, to them, they
Oh,
think that
okay.
we're okay
Mhm.
because we're known as the nation that is Jamaica, no problem. We're laid back, we're cool.
Yeah,
So
right.
to them, it's okay.
Uh-huh.
But when you go deeper and you start having personal interaction with people, you realize that everybody is struggling in some way or the other,
Mhm.
and they don't. We don't speak up as a nation on things that are really important, and if we do speak up, it's way too late.
Or
Or
it's
we,
minimized. It's
yeah,
minimized. Yeah,
yes,
I make so much nice, but a big
yes,
government are trying them best.
yes. I've
But
heard that so
no
many
money,
times.
no
It's
defi do everything, that kind of thing.
so I feel like if you have to have a government that first that values the people and care about the people and want a nation of emotionally intelligent, free thinking people who are stable.
Hmm.
If you don't have a government that wants that, they're not going to implement it. Because if they
Hmm.
don't care about the physical health, or hospitals are in shambles. If they don't care about the physical health of our people, I don't think they're going to care about the mental and emotional health. So it might have to start from us,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then we push it, and hopefully that they follow through. But we can't sit and wait for them to figure it out. Like I said, I have the podcast in mind for the longest while. I'm going to start.
Good.
I'm just waiting. My birthday is tomorrow. I'm not
Oh,
doing
wow.
anything, so I'm going to bring in the new year in a bang. Just be at home, and in January 1, I'm on it. I'm getting ready. I'm
All
not wasting any
right.
more time.
Well, happy birthday when it comes. And I did mention the word too. So, Dr. Gabriel Henry, she was the Miss Jamaica that fell off a stage in, I believe it was Thailand.
Mhm.
And I thought about her, and I said, I thought about Tyra. the one that took her life. And then I thought about Dr. Gabriel, and I said to myself, I hope people are understand that they need to kind of support her so she can recover from this. Um, Even if you don't know her, but just the pain
Mhm.
to come back. I mean, I know you were in modeling, and just the thought of a mishap on stage, right? That's the worst thing could have happened, right?
I
Walk
always
in
have fall
and
on
you
stage and not
trip
get it
on
wrong.
your shoes, walk in and you trip over your dress, and for her to just experience that fall, and it from what I gather, she suffered some head injury, and she's still, yeah, she's still incapacitated. She's still not able to move around. You're Ashane, you need to look into this.
Not that the last I saw a report, they said she was coming along, she was awake and she was okay.
But awake and okay, it doesn't mean that she's in 100% shape to be where
I
she
did not
she
know it was.
was. Yeah, the
I did not know.
reports
I
I
kept up with
saw
it.
suggest that she is has some head injury that is going to have lasting effects. So this is serious stuff. This is, yes, it's serious stuff. And the fact that this information, or we're not rallying around her in such a way, it's really concerning. Um, so we know people trip on stage, but this is not. This is a big one. This is a big one. All
I
right.
kept up with it. I kept up with it for a while, and I kept all the papers. And I think I saw a release from the university, Miss Universe team, and they were saying that she's awake, she's okay, and they're waiting on the family to release
Mhm,
something, but they're giving them the privacy and whatnot.
mhm.
And I kept up with it a little bit after that, but there was nothing stating that she's not mobile. I didn't know that.
They said the injuries is cause hemorrhage to the brain, bleeding in the brain, and or she has fractured and she has lacerations in her face. And you know how important it is in this in the industry that you are part of. And I'm not thinking you're done with it yet, as much as you may think that it's behind you. You never know. You never know, Shane. Things may happen, but in this industry how important the physical features and the physical look is in the industry. And for her to reach that level and experience this, it's I mean, I have been thinking about her and praying for her for since it happened. All right, let's jump into what's on the ground now. How much was St. Elizabeth? I'm sorry, not St. Elizabeth. Well, St. Elizabeth was it, but Trelawney and St. James, those two parishes that you're very familiar with. How much it were damaged by the storm? What percentage?
It was, but for sorry, 1 second. We have to for Trelawney. Falmouth was flooded for a couple of days. You could not go in and out of Falmouth without fear that your car is going to shut off. There are parts of Falmouth that still don't have light. Couple communities go because I'm on the highway, so going further inland,
Mm-hmm.
pretty bad, pretty bad. The
Mm-hmm.
infirmary, um, shambles. They had to move the patients to the Hague Primary School. That's where they're.
Okay.
So as I was saying, with Falmouth, the infirmary was damaged, like really, really damaged. So they had to move the patients to the Hague Primary, which is like 5 minutes from me. It's close to my school.
Mm-hmm.
And a lady reached out to me and said that they're coming down to do some, work for them, clean, cook, and everything like that. And we did so. The areas in Granville, Bountyall, all the way up to Wakefield, and then you have South Trelawney. It's pretty bad, like really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
We've yet to see anybody come near to assist them. Zion, Martha Bray, it's the same. And then down in St. James, there's a place called Over River.
Mm-hmm.
That was, boy, I see trucks in a gully. Me see bus, me see, it was picture St. Elizabeth, but just in Montego Bay. It was really bad. And I feel like they focused all the energies on St. Elizabeth alone. And
Yes,
there are people in Westmoreland that are still like really and truly going through it. Nobody's paying attention to them.
right.
Nobody paying attention to the many people in Trelawney. I think it came on the news a couple of weeks ago that Falmouth Town still didn't have any light. I think they got it for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't been there to know, but I feel like the only place that is getting attention or getting assistance on a level is St. Elizabeth. And everywhere else that suffered, because even St. Anne got hit. You don't hear anything about St. Anne.
But I
You don't,
understand that St. Elizabeth may be ground zero for this, where it's when you say it's bad, but what I'm hearing you say equally, there are areas in the northwest air
yeah,
there that is pretty bad, but it's not
yeah.
reaching the news or reaching the social media
Mm-mm.
much as because people are still underwater in those areas, as you said.
Even weeks after water was rising in Manchester, there are places in Manchester where every day you went there, the water was getting higher and higher.
Right.
Unless somebody go down there and record it and post it, you don't hear it on the news. You don't hear anybody talking about it. It's just St. Elizabeth.
That's what we're
It's
noticing. Yes. So here's
it's
something that go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was saying that it's unfair and it makes no I feel like it's one way to put people against each other because no all of Jamaica is going to hate St. Elizabeth because you're the only one getting attention and the rest of us are suffering. So you have to be careful how you know disperse the help. You cannot just say, okay, this was hit worse, so we're gonna focus here. Are you saying that the rest of us should just wait until you're ready to look our way?
Is
What
it
what
the
are we supposed to
government?
do?
Is it the government that is actually providing the resources or people in the diaspora that are actually sending to help because that's all they're seeing on social media, possibly?
People, it's people. And as much because there are a lot of people out there who are dedicated and devoted and
Hmm.
committed to their prime minister.
Hmm.
And I'm not here to knock anybody and their who they support, but he's not doing anything.
Hmm.
I've seen it is us. It is a regular civilian, it is a private sectors, it's people in the diaspora, it's Jamaicans abroad, it's everybody but the government. In Falmouth, when after everything happened, it was the citizens who cleaned the area, and like days after, they came through and made it seem as if they did something. In Lilliput, in Bartown, it was us who went to work.
Hmm.
It was not them. It was not the government. We didn't see them. People still are not seeing them. I go through and I do what I can, and people still have not seen a government official. The prime minister came through a community in St. James called Ryan Park, and he was waving in his car. He was just waving. He didn't stop.
If the place is not accessible, how would you suggest you know,
But
get
the places that they're accessible. We are going about our life. They are accessible. We did
Mhm.
not wait for them to come and clear the roads. We clear the roads and we do our best. Everywhere is accessible. They're
What
just
are the
making it seem
what are the local MPs doing? And are the MPs, I mean, it's disaster and it should not be political. Everybody should get help. But let's see if we can make sense of this. Who are the local MPs? Who are the constituents? Who are, running the constituents now? Which party?
so in both Trelawney and St. James, it's the Jamaica Labour Party that are the MPs.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is hearsay. However, it is coming from more than one person's.
Mm-hmm.
They will tell you point blank that what they're giving is for JLP supporters, not for PNP.
So it is becoming political. It is becoming.
It has been political. And I don't understand it because you're a Jamaican and these are
Mm-hmm.
Jamaicans. There was an incident where they were issuing out some stuff and there was an old man there
Mm-hmm.
and the lady was like, what she ever for labor, she not getting no PNP nothing. And one of the other persons had to take the bag and give it to the gentleman and be
Mm-hmm.
like, we're not doing that. They will say it. And then when people come out and say, "Oh, y'all said this," say, "Oh, it's a lie and we don't say so," but it is true. This is somebody's experience.
Mm-hmm.
They do it in Trelawney, they do it in St. James. Even the World Central Kitchen that they had the food going around, it
Yeah.
was set up separate ways. It was you had PNP serving food one area and JLP serving food one area. Something that was supposed to bring us together, we still found a way to
Separate.
divide it,
Basically.
separate it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And that is my issue with politics. You are for the people first. Everything come afterwards. Like
Mm-hmm.
it don't matter if I vote pink or orange. If somebody needs help, I'm going to help them. When politics time come and we are campaign, fine, we can do a little funny banter and say we know side with each other. But in a time like this, I don't think nobody should ever be saying, I'm not helping you if you're voting orange, or I'm not helping you if you're voting
I'm
green. It is
hoping
ridiculous.
that's not what, maybe it seems to be occurring indirectly, but I'm hoping it's not directly said
Oh,
or,
it is me.
being done in such explicit way.
I
Uh,
don't care. I have recordings of people talking, about their experience, they don't care. They just, and one of them I ask if I can, the man say record me and talk as he was there. Then tell him I'm like, I'm not giving any PNP nothing. What?
Let me ask you this. You mentioned that they relocated people from the infirmary or the hospital to a school. So, what is happening now to students for that school? I mean, how are they even attending?
I am not even entirely sure if the school is open. I think they're staying at just a section of the school because even my school, William Nibby, was badly damaged. Like the majority of the roof is gone, and not all
What is
schools are open.
happening for schooling now? Are people just staying home or doing stuff online?
The schools I can accommodate are taking schools. My son's school is doing every other day, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and some are strictly online, depending on how they can accommodate. With before it got to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we used to go and pick up the books at school
Mm-hmm.
and then work and then take them back to ensure that the
Yeah.
process continues. But it's different for every institution. Some schools are just closed.
And possibly can't even do anything online either. If
No, the signal is really bad. It's just getting good
Yes.
here.
So basically, you're saying, Ashane, that right now, since Hurricane Melissa, there are several schools across Jamaica that has been entirely closed and not in operation, and students are simply at home. Yes?
Yes, some will. There's some other high schools that reopened maybe like a month ago, and you would wear. I think the schools have the t-shirt, like the regular school t-shirt, so you wear that with the jeans pants. You don't necessarily wear a uniform.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, on Mondays, Fridays, or Mondays when, depending on the grade that you're in. That's how
Hmm.
they make it. Because I don't think they have classrooms to accommodate everybody because of the
Yeah.
roof.
Yeah. But William Nib, well, that's your school. What is the Alumni Association doing for William Nib? Do you know?
No, I'm not entirely sure. I know that when we did the cooking for the persons at the infirmary, we
Hmm.
cooked William Nib Home Ec Lab, and I took some pictures and videos of the condition of the school. And I passed there a couple days ago and it still looked the same. So there has not been any work done from what I'm seeing, but I did see a video, I think, of the principal who was asking for assistance. I don't know if you received any, but it's
It's bad. All right,
it's bad.
let's rate this because so that people can get an idea. Out of 10 being the worst conditions
Mhm.
that, in terms of damaging that a flooding hurricane can do to an infrastructure, in terms of no access and just overall limitations, how would you rate it out of 10?
Melissa,
The
or
damage. Mhm.
to every what Melissa is a
The
solid 10.
current to how it is right now, how do you rate it?
But right now, it's about at a 7. It was a solid 10 in the beginning, but it's a 7. And
What is okay, so that you know 30% then or something. What is accessible? Say for example in Trelawney, St. James, what are you seeing? that people can actually get then?
Well, at first everything was closed, but we have the roads are accessible now. We can go where we want to go, which is the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Two is supermarkets are open. There were some of them were, but they would be open for a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the market, the water got down, so the market is now operational. So food we can get.
Okay.
Access to go, if we want to go, we can move.
What is needed
Um,
then in that 70%? What are the 70% needs?
the hospital them need to fix up. Falmouth Hospital need work. The schools need help.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's the business place are operational because the private sectors and they're good to go. But for me, it's just the schools
Mm-hmm.
and the hospitals and some of the citizens that need help rebuilding their homes
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of houses gone. Like a lot of people are homeless.
Where are
It's
they?
not
Where are the people now? Because even the churches, the building have gone, the libraries, the buildings are gone. So where are people being housed? Is there a
some
central
people,
location or they're
no.
dispersed with friends and family?
Friends and family, some people make do with what they can at their situation. Some are getting assistance little by little. Some are rebuilding. Um, some just one tarpaulin and two posts, and
What they
they're
do at
okay.
night? Are the people safe?
I guess that they are. Some are just doing what they can. It's
And you're seeing on the ground with your own eyes,
Yup,
people sleeping under tarpaulin and not having access to daily showers and things like that. You're seeing that
yup,
with your own eyes.
yup. I drive around sometimes. I did it twice and I realized I cannot handle it. I'm going to
Mhm.
cry. So
Oh, okay.
I I do the care packages and I drop them off. Sometimes I touch base with persons who would know who need the packages more.
Mhm.
And then we go together. But things that I've seen, it's not some I feel like the strongest person would break down.
Stronger. So we know church, going to church is, I mean, I know things have changed dramatically in the last 10 years about church attendance, but it still was very important, significant, bringing people together. Are there churches in those communities running up and operating, or they have lost their building and nothing is happening?
The churches that I've passed within Lilliput and Baritone, the ones in Baritone, the last parts of it. I don't live there, so I don't know if it's operational, but I know that the last parts of the roof. The ones in Lilliput, they're still good. I have not seen anybody, seeing as if they're staying there. So I'm not entirely sure. But those are the only ones I can speak of. Outside of that, I'm not sure to be honest.
So you don't hear, it's not where you're seeing people going to church or hear of people going to church or anything. Things, so is it very well, you describe something that is gloomy, but I know Jamaican spirit, as you said, we tend to mask in different ways. And, as I said, Jamaica, no problem. But we do know there's a lot of problems there. But when you said it's, you have to be strong to see it and not burst into tears. People are there. What are they? They said food is there, but are people still able to go to work? Because I'm thinking some of these buildings are no longer there either.
So as it relates to work, it depends on the sector that you're in. For me, I don't have a job, and I won't have a job until the next year because most of the hotels are closed, like
Mhm.
Sandals, Hyatt, Secrets. They won't open till like November, December of next year.
Wow. Wait a second. Hold it there. Because I'm hearing from some of the celebrities in Jamaica that are celebrating. I said, well, one way that you can help Jamaica is to come to Jamaica, is to visit. So where are people? Are you, I mean, are there Airbnb? Where are people staying then? I know there's a lot of hotels, but some of the big ones you just mentioned.
Excellence and Ocean Coral Spring in Trelawney are open. The Rio in Trelawney is open. Royalton is closed until next October. And as I said, Secrets, Breathless, um,
Jamaica Grand?
I'm not sure about Jamaica Grand, but I know that Jewel, I think Jewel is closed. Hyatt is closed.
Hmm.
Um, where else? Half Moon is also closed.
Oh my goodness.
It's Half Moon was hit pretty badly.
Wow. So I mean, it sounds like they're, so where are they telling, where are people staying then if they're telling them to come?
Maybe Kingston. I'm not sure. I know that Princess, I had a friend who works in Princess Hotel in Hanover. I think they're closed as well.
Hmm.
Not sure about Palladium, but there are a lot of hotels that are closed down for the year. Um, Other sector call centers, I think, are up and running, so people might be able to still have their jobs there.
Hmm.
Um, the contractors, no, this is a great time for them because everybody's rebuilding, the hotels are rebuilding, so
Yeah.
those persons they have their jobs, and I
But
feel
are they
like
using local contractors or they're doing the same, they're bringing people from overseas? They're bringing
they are
the
using
Portuguese, the Chinese, and
Haitians,
the
Spanish.
Spanish. Is that what's
Yeah.
happening?
Yes, but they
So the
do use
money is not, locals are not getting some of what they should get then.
because and this again is hearsay. I heard that the Spanish are getting like close to $100 a day, whereas the Jamaicans are getting the regular $4,000 or $5,000 a day. I don't know how true that is, but this is
But
somebody who works
it
on this
can't be
side.
100 so US a day.
No, 100 US, close to 100 US a day.
100 US. Okay, okay, okay. I got it. Wow.
So I'm not entirely
That's
sure,
pretty
but
interesting.
yeah, yeah, it's they're being and they're doing most of the work, by the way. The local contractors, they're doing most of the heavy lifting, but they're getting the least amount of money.
Hmm. Hmm. How, okay, the spirit of people in term, I mean, you seems to be hanging in there and just have a understanding of how to be resilient in moments like this. I've heard stories of, I think it's called Parrot Bay in St. Elizabeth, where people are kind of succumbing to mental illness, the pressure of the, I don't know if you've heard anything on the news about that, or, but how are people managing mentally, in terms of, are people sitting around, we know Jamaican very dramatic when we upset, you can know when we upset. So are they holding their hands in their head, and throwing their hands up in the air? What are they doing to
From what I'm
demonstrate
seeing,
that? Hmm.
a lot of people are holding it together. A lot of people are just trying to make the best of it, and they're just smiling. And we have life, we're good. Like I've seen a lot of that.
Hmm.
But then you have, and I find that it is the younger folks who are not handling it well. Like the older people, they're like, "A good man, we can do
Because
this." But
they've been through it. We've been through it. Yes. Hmm.
whereas with peers, I've had to, console a couple, and they're like, "Oh, this is so hard. I don't have a job. I don't have this, and I don't have that," and they're taking it hard. But I try to let them know, like, listen, this is not something that we call upon ourselves. It happened. We had no control over it. So you can't beat up yourself for something where you really had little to no control over.
Hmm.
Uh, they're trying. Who can help themselves, they're helping themselves. One reached out saying, I'm thinking I'm gonna jerk some chicken on Fridays, build up something. One is a hairdresser and she just up her, she don't have no free time now. She just focus on doing hair. But I noticed it's just the older folks, the big man in them 60s, 70s, them have it together. It is what it is. Then
Okay.
them now watching the film, they have life. But the younger ones, they're having a hard time processing it. They're thinking about, I guess, everything that they want to accomplish and how they won't be able to do so right now, and who have children to feed or rent to pay and stuff like that. But they're doing their very best to hold it together. The ones that I am interacting with, I'm not sure how persons outside of my circle are
Hmm.
dealing with it, but everybody who have an issue, they're okay with talking to me, and I try my best to, help them as much as I can.
When you say young people, let me see. So talk about, say, for example, the 17 to 18-year-old, because those are the ones who are now preparing to, finish up their last few years, do their common entrance exit exam. If they're, so, I don't know if they still doing that, and probably look a job or go to college or something. What are they? How are they handling it?
I feel like they're okay in a sense where they still have somebody that is responsible for them. So
Okay.
even though they're somewhat, as I have a goddaughter that's 16 or 17,
Mhm.
she's sad about the fact that, certain things that she wants to do, she cannot do it. But outside of that, I feel like she's okay. It's the 23-year-old, the 24-year-old just going out on their own.
Yes.
Those are the ones that are not taking it well. They think about the rent that they have to pay because some of them just move out, or the job that they just got, and like myself, and they won't be able to go to work. It's
Mhm.
it's the early 20s. They're the
Because
ones.
that in that not in that area, Cornwall County, those areas, and even St. Elizabeth, Middlesex, on it's tend to be service areas where a lot of is a service industry in terms of the hotel industry, hospitality management, as you said. And so if there's so many hotels that have been shut down, even for the farmers, it affected because they now don't have, they can't sell their products to the local, to the hotels, right? Nobody's coming to pick up their stuff. And how much food can just people in the community buy? Not that much, right?
But the farms are gone because the farms are in St. Elizabeth.
Farms
So
are gone. The coffee farms and people houses are all gone. All right. Here's what they said the Jamaica Prime Minister is doing, and you can tell me if you see it happening. He said the Jamaican government is restoring and recovering post-hurricane large-scale roof repairs led by the Jamaica Defense Force. Yeah. And they're getting a lot of support from Guyana. They secured over 6.7 billion in aid from global banks for reconstruction and for public sector waste management and building long-term disaster resilience. Meaning, here's my concern. It seems as if the Jamaica did not have a crisis plan. A crisis plan in place to deal with, say, a large-scale fire, to deal with land erosion in case, we live on a highland, so, we can, drop off at any point into sea, or even a hurricane. It doesn't seem that way, right?
no, we didn't have. But the thing, how I look at it is this: 63 MPs in Parliament.
Okay.
At least, at least 10 should be able to come up with a plan. I'm not going to say all 63 should have the capacity to do it, but 10, at least 10. We
And
knew the
you're
hurricane was
saying 63 should have the capacity to do it. That's why you vote them into power, right?
exactly. So the hurricane was coming. We were watching it for a whole week.
Yeah.
We saw the capacity go up and go down. They were telling us, oh, evacuate Jamaica. I don't know where we were going to go, but they were saying, evacuate Jamaica. They were giving us all the advice in the world on what to do and what not to do. Leave the low areas, this and that. And you're telling me you knew that this was coming and you didn't say, okay, let me put something into place
Yeah.
that in the event it's us in a particular way, we are prepared to just go right back to rebuilding. Nothing.
Nothing.
I don't think that our government, and I'm talking about both sides because we have persons from both sides represented. I don't feel everybody's incompetent. I don't feel everybody just don't care. I feel like it's a lack of wanting to work together and get the job done. I feel like
Mhm.
they're still separate and politicking throughout all of this. So many people have come up with many ways and many ideas to move forward and get everything back on track. And they're just doing what they want to do. This is my opinion. I'm not
Mhm.
saying it is fact, but I feel like for you to take the 150 million US as insurance to give a private sector and then say that people in the diaspora should donate ambulances and stuff like that to the healthcare system, and then come and say private sectors should give back more when you had the money, you had the means and the ways to get work done, and then nothing was done. To me, you're okay with nothing being done.
All right, let's talk about this. And I know you can give me the hint when you want to wrap up because I know we can talk forever on this. But let me ask you this, which has been one of my biggest point of concern as it relates to beach and beach cleanup and gully cleanup and well, all of those things. Do we now understand the importance of keeping the gully clean?
Yeah.
Huh?
I know,
Do
I
we
know, I know.
understand the importance that we can't just drop things in the gully and expect when rainwater fall and it full it up, in a go back up and way?
Here's why I don't think so. Because I have a
And
policy.
then I
Don't
get
dash
the
nothing.
point. Then I get the point by now.
Nope, 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 nope. I don't, if you're in my car and you're eating or drinking anything, do not throw anything to the window. That is my policy. I don't
But
like it.
that's just one. We're talking a policy at the macro level, at the government level, where they institute a plan that
They're
if
not
people
gonna do it.
litter, they get fined.
No, because when I tell people don't throw garbage to the window, they say if I don't throw it out there, people don't have work to do.
But nobody not picking it up.
Them, I think parish council will gather a group of people to go around and pick up. That's literally what they said. They said if we don't litter, people don't have work to do. So they're giving people work to do. That is the mindset of some Jamaicans. If you don't litter, nobody now gonna get no work to pick up your garbage. I kid you not, I've heard it several times. I've heard it several times. And like I
Let
said,
me tell you how ridiculous it look. We in the diaspora are watching you guys on videos. And you dress up and you're looking all nice and whatever. But you don't forget the background. You don't forget the background. The amount of trash, the amount of, especially on these channels that they have at the beach. How can you be cooking at the river and everything you cook and plastic and containers and everything that you use, they just do this and throw it down. They just throw it. Where are the environment? And no, are they making the connection that
nope.
when the water come and it block up the wall in the gully, you know where to go, it gonna come back on them. Then understand
They
that.
go, they go blame the government.
Well,
They're gonna blame.
exactly. No, but they're blaming the government. There is some responsibility there. Yes, there's accountability there as well in both sides individually and at the government level. The government now should put in a plan, implement strategies, and said, look, no more littering. You're going to be fined.
Feel like when it comes on to the government implementing certain things, whether it is for healthcare or for, you know, littering, whatever it is, it's either it's not fully enforced or they just started to say, okay, we start something.
But
But
they're not finishing.
I
And
don't
it's not ongoing. It's not sustainable. It's
and
not.
there's no genuine care. Like that is the thing that is lacking in the government is consideration. They don't care. They
Wow.
do not. So you cannot, it doesn't really matter what they do. If they don't care about what they're doing, it not gonna go nowhere.
The water
You
not
can, they don't care.
Ashane, the water not going anywhere. The water back up. Why you think the water backing up? What do you think the water back
Okay.
up?
There are certain areas in Jamaica, Montego Bay, Falmouth. When my mommy tell me that where KFC is in Montego Bay is where the water used to be, that's where they used to swim. I don't really understand it. I don't, Falmouth is the same. It's dump.
Mhm.
And I always say that if any, God forbid anything happens, I don't want to be in those areas because when nature ready for take its course, I don't want to be there.
Exactly.
And they're still dumping areas. And then they come, oh, Jamaica is losing its coast. It is not. It is not. It was never its coast in the first place.
Mhm.
So they dump the land, they litter the land, they do all sorts of stuff to the land.
Mhm.
And when nature says, come to show you something, they
Mhm.
cry. And
Mhm.
they don't realize that they're the reason why these things are happening. But if you try to sit and have these conversations with people, they'll give you a talk like, well, I'm not go there all the while, I soon dead and gone, and nothing me problem I never me start here.
Yeah,
Something
I've heard
that's a mindset.
that. It's the same mentality as if you don't throw the trash out, then nobody now go work, right? That kind of
Yes.
mentality. It's painful. So here's another piece. So I talked to this one guy who is in court suing the government for access to the different beaches in Jamaica. I don't know if you know that, especially I think it's James Bond Beach and some
We
of
don't own
some of
we own not
the caves. Huh?
we don't own a single beach here.
Right. And not just on in terms of even access it, especially
But
in the
the
autism
closest,
area.
the closest one to me is Burwood. And if you're going over Burwood, you have to pay like $500.
Yeah. But wait, here's what I'm saying. One of the statement I said to him, I said, look, you have the beach. Wanna use the beach. I wanna not clean up the beach. And then somebody come from overseas, take the same beach, clean it up, put up flowers, put up nice river rocks around it, and then no one go use the beach and claim it as a one. And do not care about the beach. I'm not saying that's how it should be. I mean, this is like the most basic argument I can come up with. And this is just to get to the mind of the people who think the way that we're saying, oh, we are go dead lefty and all that kind of stuff. Then why are you crying over it?
The same way I think about mental health is the same way I think we should attack the beach. You see, oh, we as a nation we grew up on we tell us if we say please and thanks and good morning and whatever stuff like that.
Mhm.
We need to start teaching young children how to be kind and caring and considerate and clean.
It sounds like you're talking
And
about civic education.
not just in the house, but
Mhm. Outside.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So even when you just see something out of place, out of road, put it together. You
Mhm.
know, lead by example.
Mhm.
Because if you only care about yourself and you only care about your house and you go out the door and you see where it'll fall apart, you go walk through the mess.
Mhm.
And if you walk through the mess, everybody's going to walk through the mess, and then before you know it,
That's
the mess consume all.
exactly what we are seeing on these videos. And it's shocking. It's shocking. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing people capturing images, but they're walking and standing in garbage.
Yeah, and they
And
don't
it's
care.
it and there's no awareness of it, and you're like, how can you be comfortable in that mess? How can you go to the river? We started out by talking about energy. Do they know the importance of energy from these streams, from the lakes, from I mean from the rivers that we have?
They don't. And that is a different that's a whole different topic. As I tell everybody, life is about energy and frequency. What you
Right.
put out is what you attract. So if
Yes.
you put out negativity or you are around negativity, that is what you attract. The water is what flows through you and through the earth. And if you don't take care of it, it's not going to take care of you. It is, as we say, it's a different conversation for a different time. But
Yes.
or people in Jamaica, they're not educated on stuff like that. They only focus on what is physically there and what doesn't affect them directly. They don't care about yeah,
Until it affect them, but they still can't see how to get out of it.
that's it. As long as so this key will be here, and the key being here is affecting them, but they don't know. But until the key goes on touch them, that
Mhm.
is when they pay attention to the key.
Mhm.
They're not thinking about the key is causing a little rift somewhere that will eventually stab them in the heart. They're just focusing on the little touch. But what are we going to do? Like my brother-in-law said, some will get it and some won't. And it is not your job to force those to get it. They'll get it on their own time. So
But
what we
Shane,
can
it's affecting you. There's a relationship in this circle, right? We started out by talking about energy, and so even if you're not directly affected, it's indirect. We
it's
know
in
that
there.
a person who just throw things in the gully, um, not just trash, but some old bed and mattresses and all these kind of things. That's
Stove,
why the water can't pass through. Everything is blocked.
stove, machine, dead,
Yes, dead
everything. No,
animal,
you
dead
can't have a
donkey.
house.
Yes. And so that's what it is. So all right, we've talked a lot about, I'm inspired by you. You should do that podcast about mental health. And I'm
Mhm.
very much impressed. When I reached out to you, I did not know about your modeling career and all these wonderful things that you've started out the journey on in such an early stage, but you have a lot
About
of.
it.
Go ahead.
I don't usually talk about it, to be honest.
Well, thank you. I appreciate, I said to myself, you don't know how rich your story is. You don't really, um, so I'm glad I was able to capture that. But I enjoy some of the content. One of the things that you said on there is, it says something about peace and realignment or peace and alignment, how things connect, in terms of just, the way that you're describing it earlier. And so these are some of the daily motivations that we need to live by. And I
Mm.
just wish you all the best. I hope you can be the voice in your community to, probably start some type of community mental health group, inspire young people to talk about their mental health, and so that we can make it a generational shift. What do you say about that?
I love that idea. I didn't think of that, but I love that idea. I was thinking about something else. Let me see if I can find it.
Mhm.
Um, real quick. Is it going to come off? Okay, no. Um, Come on, don't do that. Let's see that. E, the internet. So I tried getting certified through Hearts to
Okay.
see if I could to be a trainer. I wanted to train others on customer service, bartending,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But there's something that I wanted to implement in the training, but for some reason, I'll send it to you
Yeah.
when I find.
So just for anybody, you're talking about the Human Employment and Resource Training Program that is, instilled by the government to help, especially young people before they even leave school and then afterwards, right? A
Yes.
lot of programs
No,
in.
I found it. Let me.
Actually a very, very good program. So have you taken the steps to reach out to art representative in your area to do that?
Yeah. I did, and I sent him an email with all my qualifications, and I'm yet to hear back. But not one of the things that I wanted to implement in my training is the ICE values. And the ICE values, ICE,
Mm-hmm.
is independence, confidence, and being educated. So how I had it, I had to be independent means putting yourself in a position to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be time when you need others, but before you run for help, you try to help yourself first.
Wow.
Confidence. Confidence is key. It is, as I said, success is 80% confidence and 20% of everything else. And I want it to be like when you walk into a room, you are certain about yourself and your worth
Oh,
and you shine. Yes. And then educated. Like, this is something that I try to tell everybody. Being educated doesn't necessarily mean that you have a degree. No, if you are a mechanic and you know everything about that skill, you are educated in that skill. And if you are somebody that is in customer service, you are educated on customer service. So as I always say, it means learning and growing in what you're passionate about.
mm-hmm.
So if you're skilled or knowledgeable about something, you are just as educated as any professional in their field. So I wanted to implement those in my training. I'm yet to hear back from Heart.
Well, so I'm sure you set up your portfolio so that when somebody say yes, then you can say, here, look
I'm
at
ready.
the plan. So here's something interesting. So do you know, have you ever heard of Althea Lang?
Yes. Yes.
You know that she have these beautiful programs that she runs similar to what you're talking about.
No.
Okay, so Althea Lang does the same thing in terms of personal development. She run a lot of programs similar to that focuses on confidence, social grace,
Mhm.
poise and posture, just etiquette, building self-confidence. And she run these programs where she get these young people into the program, and even she do at the end she does these graduation with them. Have you thought about, and then she's on social media. She's accessible. You can email, just, send her something and say, look, I'm a model, I'm a fashion model. I used to be this. Even started by volunteering to do something because maybe you don't have to travel to her, but she can set up something in your area,
We
that
have
is
it.
flexible and kind of give because it's the same kind of program. She's on Facebook and she opened her registration. She does these seasonal programs that she opened. She help people study. I believe she help people, young people study for exams and all sorts of things um, that she does. So you should try that too. Try,
Um,
reaching out and see. There's also a teacher. I know I can't remember her name. There's a teacher. Is it William? Could it be at your school? There
what's
was
the
a
name?
teacher I spoke to. No, I'm gonna have to look for it, and I'll send you the information where she does this interesting thing, and this is something that I said when you were talking about modeling. I said to myself, you should enter Miss Festival Queen. I bet somebody tell you that before. You
I
should,
entered it years ago. However,
and what
at the
happened?
time,
Don't tell me. Well, keep going because
I I kind of I dropped out. I just got a job, and the job I needed a job, and the job was not aligning with the training and whatnot, so I had to drop out. But they said, I don't. Can you have a child and enter Miss Festival Queen? I thought you had to be child free, or
no,
that changed.
who told you that? They can't discriminate like that. So no, Miss Jamaica, you can be married with children, and it doesn't matter the size. What they look at is their portfolio, community
Oh,
work, philanthropy, education in terms of things that you do, experience, and just about any kind of community-oriented type of activities.
oh,
Come
I thought
on. Come
free. I
on, Ashane.
child free.
You have so much at your fingertip here. The possibilities are there. So, but I'll send you the information for that teacher. I spoke to her. She was a former Miss Festival, Miss Jamaica Festival Queen, and she did some interesting things with the school. She created some type of program with the school, and I'm almost sure it was William Nib. I'm almost sure, but I'll check and I'll send it
Yeah.
to you. Yeah. So, but thank you so much. I'm going to let you go. And of course, definitely, I'm going to keep in touch and provide you this information. It was very, very informative. I appreciate you sharing. And
Thank you for
I
having
feel
me.
lucky learning about you because this is such an interesting background that you have here. And you don't even want to celebrate it. Come on.
It's the one of the reasons why I spoke about. He said, "Tell me about yourself," and I wanted you to know why I'm at this place where I am right now. And I figured that if I cut that part out, you won't really understand, my passion for people and wanting to do this. Because I swear to God,
Mhm.
more people talk about me being a model than me talk about me being a model. I rarely ever mention it. I don't.
Oh, actually, I found her. Actually, she's at Westwood High School.
Oh, okay. My best friend went to Westwood, so she might
That's
know
the
her.
person that I was thinking about. And
Was just send me the
she was Miss St. Anne 2022 Festival Queen. Her name is Kimberly Todd. Kimberly Todd. So if you reach out to her, I'm sure she can kind of, give you the ins and outs on that. But I appreciate you sharing. Yes, I'm glad you didn't leave it out. And
Oh, I'm
I'm
going.
wondering if I should ask you why that part would remain secret, but you don't have to share. Everybody, you have your reasons.
It's it's not like a secret. I feel like when I talk about it, I'm bragging, and I don't want to be like that. I feel
I know you mean humble. See? Great.
I'm saying, oh, I'm this and I'm that, and I don't. Are you here? Are you here with
I'm
me?
here. I'm here.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you the name for another young man who is very, very active in the scene in those areas that you're talking about. His name is Jordan Cunningham. And he does a lot of training as well. He does corporate training And he's doing some interesting things where he's training people to do all sorts of things similar to what you're talking about. His name is Jordan Cunningham. If you and he also have a Instagram slash TikTok type of account that he poses things. You just search for him on there, and so I give you three names, Althea, um, and the Miss Jamaica,
Jordan Cunningham.
Kimberly Todd, and now Jordan Cunningham that you can reach out to talk about, some of the things that you're interested in. And I would suggest you follow up with Art because, one of the things about the art program, which I appreciate, it's there and young people are not using it. And one of the things you could do is reach out to your MP. And if you're not hearing from them in terms of getting this thing started, as you mentioned, or try to reach out to the head office in Kingston so that they can, you know,
I didn't know that. I'm going to reach out to the head office
yeah,
or the
reach
MP.
out to the head office in Kingston and whatever I can do in the background, because I do know a few people in Trelawney that have connections in those areas. So I reach out and see and email it. Okay.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, Shane, thanks again. And we're definitely going to say goodbye this time. And hopefully you can keep me in touch. Let me know. But of course, I'll follow up with you as well with any other contacts that I can provide you. Take care. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.